How are you doing, guys? This is Rodriguez Repairs here again with another video. Today we have a 2011 Cadillac CTS with a 3.0 liter engine, sedan. And the complaint of this vehicle is that the trunk won't open. You know, the electrical button here that opens the trunk stopped working. Of course, there is a manual release. If you put this cup holder access down and you reach your hand inside here, you'll be able to pull on the manual latch that will open the trunk manually. But the customer actually wants to make the electronic button work. Ever since he failed, she hasn't been able to get it to work. Okay, so we're gonna find out what is the issue. Okay guys, we're able to get the trunk open with the manual latch. I'm kind of mad at myself because I should have made this video from the very beginning, but I had realized that this was a good video to make when I had already taken everything apart. So as you can see, this is the trunk. It's open. I took these two clips here to access the fuse box. First, make sure that this 10 amp fuse is not blown. All right, so take it out, make sure it's not blown, or check it with a power probe. Make sure it's not blown, and if it is blown, replace it. Alrighty, that is the trunk fuse. So mine ended up being okay. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking this box. There's gonna be a 7mm there, another 7mm there, and then another one all the way in the corner, and then you're able to take this off like that. Okay, and back here we have a series of relays. This relay right here is a trunk relay. Every time I press the trunk button, this engages. Alrighty, so every time I press the button, you can hear a clicking sound. Click, click, click. Make sure you're able to hear a clicking sound to verify that the relay is operational. Alright, if you don't, replace it with a good one, new one, or you can just swap them out just to diagnose that this is the problem. Don't switch this one over here and this one over here and then just leave it like that, because now this relay is not gonna function, whatever is controlling. All right, I'm pointing here because there is actually a relay here. I just took it out so I can replace it with the other one, but the relay is clicking, so we know that it is working. All right, so what you're gonna need to do is, now that we verify that the relay is working and the fuse is not blown, you're gonna have to take this off. Like I said, this is already disassembled because I had already taken it apart when I figured out it'll be a good video to make. So what you're gonna do is just take this plastic piece that's right here. This just comes off right off from here. Comes right off. And these go right here. These come right off as well. Like I say, they just clip on, so they just come off. All right, and then the rest are just clips. Clip there, clip there, clip there, 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 and there. So once you take this off and figure out how to take this off, like I said, I'm gonna take it off. Right, just put it somewhere where it won't get damaged. Okay guys, once we have the trunk cover here off, we're able to access the plug for the trunk. Okay, what I ended up doing is I ended up taking this plug out and I ended up verifying if there was power, ground, and where needed to be power and ground. And what I noticed is that black cable, as you can see, that black cable, there is nothing there. Okay, I have 12 volts in the orange one, 11.5 in the pink and black, and in the brown and white I have nothing. However, when I press the trunk button, I get 12 volts. All right, and in this black wire I get nothing. So I know that there needs to be ground there, but there is nothing. I have nothing there. So what needs to complete the circuit is the ground. All right, so now we have to basically trace this harness to see where the fault is. Okay, so as you can see, there's a plug We're gonna trace this harness. I ended up tracing it, and there is this little cover that has wires running through it, this little insulation here that I believe is made thin like that so that it can, you know, be nice and flush with this so that you won't be able to see any wires. But me taking this apart, this is what I noticed. Look at this. Bare wire. It's broken. Okay? The wire is broken right here, as you can see. And there's your problem. And like I knew it, it was ground that we were needing. So I'm gonna find where this wire goes. This has to be one of these up here. I just need to locate it. Let's see if I can locate it. Oh, there it goes. You see it? Right there. Bam. So now I gotta basically connect that back together with a clamp heat shrink, and that should be the problem. This is very common on these Cadillacs because this is not very good engineering on how they put the wire harness here, because as you can see, the trunk goes up and it goes down multiple times a day, you know, so that's what happens. So once we're gonna connect that there, I'm gonna show you the result, and then we're gonna put everything back together. Okay guys, so I ended up taking the tape out of this plastic part just so I can have access to every wire, so I can, you know, connect this with ease, but make sure you put everything back. So you're gonna need some electrical tape to put everything back as it was. Alrighty, so it's time for me to connect the cable. And guys, please never just connect bare wires by the copper and just put electrical tape around it. That is never the proper way. I feel the best way to connect two cables together is first you gotta peel the insulation just so the heat shrink clamp connector can grab that wire there. So on both sides, make sure you peel the insulation. Okay guys, so we're gonna crimp the wires with this. Okay, these are my favorite, the best in the market in my opinion, because the great thing is once you have those wires peeled out, you stick each end in as far as it can go, and then you crimp it with any crimping tool you have. I have this one. As you can see, that's gonna just crimp the wire right there. Crimp it as hard as you can on both sides. Okay, because you gotta make sure that the wire makes contact with the metal, and then these outer plastic parts are going to be heated with a, you know, with a lighter, and they're gonna start shrinking, so you can have a very, very solid connection. Okay guys, I inserted both of the wires in. As you can see, they're crimped, each one on each side. Now I'm gonna take a lighter like this one and just heat up these sides, this side and this side, and then this should start shrinking to the size of the cable so you can make a solid connection. Okay, now we have a solid connection. As you can see, this shrunk to the size of the cable, and now it's time to put everything back together. Make sure you put this with electrical tape again so it can be flush, because like I said, we don't want to make pressure in this so that this problem happens again in another cable. Okay guys, we're ready to put this back together. As you can see, I haven't put a zip tie for even further protection. As you can see, nice and flush. Put this in between the wires. Just make sure it's not gonna pinch anything. And then we're ready to put this back on in those holes and put everything back together. Nice and flush. You know, it has some wiggle room because like I said, the trunk goes up and down. Now we're gonna put everything back together. Okay, we got this back on. Clip, 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 and clip. Put that together. Okay, now it's time to put this. Do you see that little border there that comes out? That's gonna go up here in that little hole there. So you just snap it in place. Make sure that it's right. Bam, snap. Snaps on in place, okay? Now it's time for these. This should just snap on as well. Let's see if I could snap them on. Okay, you see these have this arrow pointing, so as you see here, it has room for this to just pop like this. You put it in and then you slide it. Okay, let's see if I can do this without with one hand. Okay. Okay, so I was able to put those back together, and yes, the process that I told you, the two holes that have a little bit of spacing within them, so you can move this around, you put it in those two, and then you slide it to the left on this one, and then you put the last one, you clip the last one on. And for this one, you put these two on there first, slide it, and then you clamp this final one. Now it's time to put this. As you can see, those guides there, those two flaps that are coming out, those are going to be used as guides, and they're going to enter in this hole and in this hole. That way it can go flush with the screws, and there's two screws, as you can see. They're kind of hidden, so you're going to have to use a pick it out until you are able to see the screw, and then you can bolt it back together. Okay guys, everything is put together. Okay, make sure all the clips are in place. That one, and make sure the rubbering is outside of the padding here. Okay guys, everything's done. Time to test. I'm about to push the button right now. Oh, there we go. We got the trunk open. Let's try it again. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you put a comment with what other video you would like me to make. And thanks for watching.